Here we talk about appropriateness of different forms of ownership. So what we're talking in essence is this: how do we understand the kind of business we do? What are the models of the business we do? That's about appropriateness. So let's see what they say here. So, what are those things that affect this kind of business we do? What are those things? Now, what are the factors of different businesses? Number one, the growth. Many businesses start small and gradually get bigger. Most businesses change their legal status as they grow. So, businesses will change as time goes on. Businesses do change. So, the kind of business you do will be based on the kind of growth the business would witness. The kind of business you do will be based on the kind of growth you will witness as a business. That's about growth here. So, some businesses like sole trader, their growth might not be rapid. It will be a slow growth because they are small. They might not have that charisma. They might not have the capability to quickly grow. Unlike other businesses that they can grow significantly.
Yeah.
That's about growth. The size. Many small businesses are sole traders or partnerships, so public limited companies are much larger with thousands of employees and huge turnovers. It could be argued that a very large business could only be run effectively if it were a limited company. Although, of course, there are expectations. So, the size. The size of a business also determines how appropriate the business is, because the size will determine the number of workers you have. Large businesses will have large numbers of workers. Small businesses will have small numbers of workers. So that will also determine how you operate. The third one, the need for finance. Finance is one of the main reasons why owners change the legal status of their businesses. So owners of the business might look at the business like, oh, this business needs to grow. And if this business has to grow, we need finance. So the kind of finance needed for the business will determine the kind of legal status the business will have. Either it continues to be a small one, or it changes from a sole trader to a partnership. It changes from a partnership to a private limited company. So the kind of finance needed for the objective will determine the kind of legal status the business can go through. The point is, you think of changing the status of your business from a sole trader to partnership, or from a sole trader to private limited company. To do that, you need finance. So the kind of finance available to a business will determine the next stage, the next level the business can go. Control. Some owners like their independence. So they like to have complete control of their business. Because of that, they want to remain as small as possible. You understand? Limited liabilities. Owners can protect their own personal financial position if the business is a limited company. So some owners, they want to invest. At the same time, they don't want to lose their property. They don't want to lose their assets, their wealth. They don't want to lose it. As a result of that, they would invest on private limited company than investing on partnership. Do you understand?
Yeah.
So that's all about appropriateness. Do you get the point here? So the legal status of a business will change based on the need for finance, based on control, based on limited liability, based on growth, based on size. Any question about that?
No.
So Ed said the type of business activity may influence, also the type of business activity. The kind of business they do can also influence the legal status. If it's a taxi, if it's a barbering salon, I don't have to be a limited liability company. It's a salon. I don't have to be so big. So the kind of business I do will determine also.
What's legal status?
Legal status is what defines your business. What defines your kind of business? Is it a sole trader? Is it a partnership? Is it a private limited company? Is it a public limited company? Is it a corporation? So what defines your kind of business is your legal status. Is it clear? Is it clear, please?
Yeah.
The way in which a business plans to use its profits may be important too. So if you think of putting profit back into the business as retained profit, then you might be thinking of a public limited company. Do you understand? No, you might be thinking of a sole trader because that decision will be yours only.
Yeah.
You want to make profit and put it back into the business. It has to be a decision you take. So it has to be a sole trader. Finally, the different stakeholders such as employees and shareholders might influence the choice of organization. So those that are working with you, your workers, those that have invested in the business can determine the kind of legal status the business will have. Do you know how or why?
No.
Workers with you, they might tell you that, oh, sir, oh, ma'am, the business is getting bigger. Let's change it to a public limited company. We have everything now. Let's change it to a public level. Let's don't stop here being private. No, let's stop being partnership. Let's make it a public limited company or let's make it a private limited company. They can influence your choice. Your managers can too. Owners can tell you that we have money now. We want to put so much money now. Let's change this legal status. Is it clear?
Yeah.
So these are the things that determines the appropriateness of the business. Any question about that?
No.
So objectives and the types of organization. So it is likely that the different types of business organization will have different objectives. Some examples are given. Small sole trader might be happy to make modest amount of profit. Small business owners, small sole traders, they can't even make large profits. So a small amount of profit is enough for them. Family businesses and other medium-sized private limited companies often do not wish to go public because they are afraid of losing control. So family businesses like private limited companies, they don't want to sell their shares publicly. They want to let it be within the family because when they sell publicly, they might lose the control of the business. Most multinationals want to grow. They want to expand. They want to reach as many countries as possible. So these are objectives of different types of organizations. Any question about that?
No.
Then we'll go to the question. Which of the following business activities is likely to be operated by a sole trader?
Guarding service.
Thank you. What is the most appropriate form of business for a multinational operator?
A social.
Multinational.
A
Public limited company.
Yeah.
Because they want to make profit. They want to be everywhere. And to be there, you can't be partnership. To be there, you can't be public corporation. That is government. To be there, you can't be a social enterprise because that means you are thinking about the society, not profit.
It's a public limited company.
The third one. What is an appropriate form of business for a self-employed taxi driver?
Sole trader.
Sole trader. Which of the following is most likely to affect the appropriateness of a particular form of business? The rate of inflation in the economy, geographical location, the financial risk owners are prepared to take, the views of employee. They said, which of the following is most likely to affect the appropriateness of a particular form of business? What determines
the financial risk owners
are prepared to take? Yes, C. Any question about that?
No.
So that's the end of chapter